You have to figure out what you're here for, and you have to live your truth. We might have to fight some people along the way.
Right? It's really
Mm-hmm.
our job. It's not somebody else's job to do your work, you know? I sometimes don't like that, do your work or whatever, but it's true. It is true.
When you come here, you already know what you're going to do. I mean, like, we know before we get here what we're going to do. Even though we have free will, you have something that you were set here to accomplish.
I think there's a goal and we have a destination that we're trying to get to. I don't know. It's awful if we don't get there, but I think that there are destination points. And I do think that, like, I always saw it like that there was kind of like destination points that, like you said earlier, like the losses or, who we're going to marry or whatever, like the people that we meet, they can be those destination points, but I think they can also be when we go off track. And I feel,
so, yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Let's start backwards if we're going to talk about going off track.
Yeah. I bet everybody can relate to that.
I'm saying, and absolutely. Yes. So, like, I think that when we go off track, that our destination endpoint remains, that because we have free will, we're going to go off track, right?
Yes.
But that something happens in our life, whether it's like that guardian angel intervening when you do something really, really stupid, or like something happens to kind of put you back on track. So, one of the things, just to bring everybody up to speed, that Val and I started this conversation off with is, and I'm just going to say, no, I don't want to say his name. That guy who is currently sitting in the most supreme
whitest house. Okay, I said it.
So, thank you. Whether you like him or hate him, not my business, but I do believe that while I don't agree with probably 90% of the things that he has done, and probably 97% of the things that he said, he's here for a reason, the same way we all are. He had a life designed the same way we all did. And if it wasn't him here right now doing what it is that he's doing, it would be somebody else, because somebody had to take the charge to be able to help us bring in the new earth, so to speak. Yes. So while I don't like him, I don't hate him, I don't like the things he does, I don't like what he's doing, but I no more blame him, and somebody's going to probably want to beat me over the head for that, than I blame us for making the little stupid mistakes that we make, I mean, we make them. Earth is a learning, educational place.
Well, but, look how close that whole election was, right? So was this predestined? I can't help but think it was. And I remember just feeling the dread of, oh no, we're going to have to learn some really harsh lessons in America. I just kept thinking, here it is.
All over the whole of the world. Like, I
didn't realize, how much the whole world was going to be affected, but I should have. But I just remember at the beginning, 8-9 years ago when he started running, I'm thinking, no. But all I could think of was, okay, here we go. Because I believe what he has done is become the mirror for America. Like, whether we like this or not, that he's a mirror image. He's showing us what we've become collectively, or as a whole. I'm not saying you, me, or anybody here, but it is that. And I don't think America could have done this any different. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I suppose I absolutely think the divine could have done it different, but this is what happened. And so the sooner we we sort of get on board with looking at ourselves and checking that big old mirror out and seeing where, what he doesn't do can be reflected in our own selves, we can shift this. I really believe that.
So I have my go-to places of like podcasts and things like that that I listen to. So one of the podcasts that I listen to is Revealing Light Tarot. Shouts out to Marianne. Um,
Yeah.
she she really hones in on talking about she talks about the politics of the United States, but then she also hits the politics of Canada, Australia, the UK, and
Yes.
and the, none of
Yes.
us none of us are immune to any of these
Nope.
things that are going on. Like each
That's right.
country has their version of him.
Yes.
And
Yes. Right? Hmm. Yeah.
so the thing is that collectively as the world, I think that we have to get together, us like-minded people, and form
Yes.
communities and find
Mm.
people that live or, work or close to, if not, sometimes it may not be the person who's next door, but someone that you can, that thinks the way we do, and form a
Yes.
community of like-minded people to help um, get us all through these times and, find some type of way to help raise. I don't, Raising your vibration is used so much. Sometimes it's almost like overkill,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm. Yes, I'm
but,
feeling that. Yes. Hmm.
just to raise the consciousness,
Yes.
break it,
Raise
raise the,
and even right, but even make it simpler. Become aware. Pay attention, right?
right,
Become aware.
right.
Use your self-awareness. Pay attention. Look outside of your own self, whatever you've got going on, right? Consider
Yeah,
somebody else, consider their viewpoint, all of that. Yeah. Boy, if ever we need that, it is now. It
yeah,
is now.
absolutely. And I know that we're going to tackle the love aspect,
Yeah.
in another episode, but that's
And
really
community,
at
maybe,
the,
well, there's all kinds of things that we can be tackling. Yes, that
yeah,
matter.
but I think that it starts on the inside and figuring
Yes.
out where it is, like what position you hold in the change of everything. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it's so super difficult. I am not going to sit here and say that it's easy to be a positive person, to be able to look past other people's faults. I try my
Yeah.
hardest not to judge, because I know I'm not perfect. But at the end of the day, we have to recognize that in my opinion, the consciousness we share one consciousness on this earth,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and that you are me and I am you, and however you treat me, excuse me, you're treating yourself that way. So,
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
um, it's hard to really come to terms and think like that, but like I tried not to even step on a bug if I can avoid it anymore because
Yeah.
like
Oh, me too. I'm such a wuss about that. Oh my gosh. Don't kill the mouse. Don't get people get so
I,
mad.
I'm
Oh,
I'm I, I think because the same universal, energy flows through all of us. I wouldn't want
yes.
somebody bigger than me to step on me. You know, I mean,
Exactly.
I guess at the end of the
Exactly.
day, it is what it is.
It
But if
is.
you have
It
to step on
is.
the spider, step on it. But
But
anyhow,
I think it does come
um,
back to that being conscious though. Just, even if you care this much. And sometimes, looking at the leader of this country, I look for that little bit of care. Like, is there just a little bit? Because I feel like it could move a mountain if there was. But I'm really failing to see it. Just
okay, you said it. So,
I did.
there's times where I say to my spirit guides and I say to my ancestors, it's like, can I just get one piece of strong enough energy to influence, to like get into his head and then I think maybe that if all of us get together and we all meditate, that we could change the way he
Yeah.
thinks. No, I don't think
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not possible, but
No.
again, he's 80 years old. He's been at this for a long time.
Yep. Oh, yes.
And
And you know, what I see it, in him as a therapist, it's like I was just saying today to a client about this, like it's really not possible to change this kind of personality kinds of things. It's there. It's not impossible. Nothing's impossible, I don't think, when it comes down to spirit, but it's and that's I honest to God, I just look for a little teeny speck of care. And every time it comes close, I'm like, oh, there it is. And boom. Next thing you know, it just like whiplash. Just throws me. And I'm like, nope, it's not there. I was fooled.
Don't want to be weak. Don't want to be weak.
Right. Yes. Vulnerability, right? That's a whole other area that we're being forced into.
Sometimes showing love and compassion makes you a stronger person than
I would say
being the
always.
Strong person.
Yes. Yes, and
Yeah.
I try to remember him also as that little boy. I just can't help but think, I read the
That's
books.
what
I read
I
the book
see.
by his niece, and that was painful. I found it so painful to read, because it was so easy to see, to see what had happened to him. Doesn't justify it. Sometimes people, you can almost hear like, what? It doesn't justify it, but it does explain.
Yep. Well,
It
you know,
does
they say
explain.
hurt people.
Right. Yeah. It's so true, So, I mean, yes, compassion's not going to make, people say, well, compassion for somebody like that, it's not going to change anything. Well, but it can change you. Can change you. And that we start changing all the little yous around, it adds up. It does. Because I loved what you said earlier, Tara. You said how, we are each other. We are like we share the same heart. That's part of what people have not yet woken up to, is that reality.
And that in itself, I think, Val, is what. So sometimes I get in my feelings. Already. We've
Yes.
had these conversations, but some of
That's a good thing.
the time that I get in my feelings is because I know the person that I am, and I can't believe some of the things that I see. And in retrospect, like just when it comes to me, some of the things that have been said to me or done to me, I look at these people and I'm like, you actually did that or said that to me. They don't know me. Don't get me wrong, right? But I think, how can we knowingly do that to each other? How can we knowingly say things and hurt each other on purpose?
Yes.
Now, don't get me wrong. Again, I will say I'm 52 years old. It took me probably 40 years to figure that out.
That's all right. Takes us all a long time. Yeah. But it is shocking. I think you're sort of saying how shocking that can be.
It is.
That a person can honestly treat another human sometimes the way we
on
see.
purpose.
Deliberate. Yep. It's dark. I know. I mean, I think thankfully it's certainly a smaller, percentage that does that, but it's still always it will always shock me. And sometimes I get mad that I still get shocked by it. I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
But then it's important maybe to have that kind of a visceral response. I don't know, maybe.
And we wouldn't be who we are if we didn't get shocked by some of the things that we see.
Yes. Yes. So don't feel bad, anybody here. If you have these kinds of feelings, like they're real, they're legit, they express vulnerability, and I'm telling you, that's the road home right there. Vulnerability. That is the road home to ourselves, to each other. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So
just to kind of go back to this life pre-design. So I think how I came about it and really was starting to understand, like, throughout my time, in this world, in this, not the physical world, but the metaphysical world, and my exposure
Yes.
to different things. I have always dabbled in or heard people talking about like, oh, well, you come here with a soul group, you keep a soul group. Every time you incarnate on this earth,
Hmm.
you incarnate with people who are in your soul group. So for those people that don't understand, someone right now, like my mom in a previous life, may have been my sister, could have been a
Yeah.
grandma. I was, my daughter was told by a local intuitive that my grandson in a previous life was my son, which it
No.
actually makes, like, we are so close. It actually
Yeah.
makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
each life you come back, you may not be, you know, my brother may not be my brother in the next life. He may not have been my brother in a past life, but we all come back somehow together. You have the choice of whether
Yeah.
you come back or not in relation to like this lifetime. Like, I'm going to stay here this time. I'll incarnate with you the next time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you come back, everybody has a role to play in that reincarnation.
Hmm.
So I always say, and Val and I both feel we did not just run into each other. We did not just meet each other. Val and I met years ago. Probably it's been, again, what, about 8 years ago,
Yeah.
Val?
More than
About
likely.
8 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. Hmm.
And we connected and then we didn't see each other. But that first initial connection was the catalyst. It happened the way it
Yes.
happened. It was planned that way. Neither one of us
Hmm.
knew that, but it was. And then I didn't
Right.
see Val again for a whole lot of years. And then we happened to be at the same place again.
Happened
And we
to, right? We just happened to be. Yeah.
and Val said to me that day, I still remember, we were sitting in the office and she was like, "We keep running into each other for a reason.
Yes.
We This is not
Yeah,
by
that's right.
accident."
Yeah.
And so we kind of left it, and spoke to Val here and there, but like for the most part,
Right.
I don't think we saw each other again for maybe what, like another year and a half,
I
maybe two
think, yeah.
years.
Yeah. It's been a bit. Yes.
Yeah. And then I needed Val's assistance. And so we
Yes.
were together for a year.
For about
And
a year.
then,
Yeah.
but it's because this had to come. This had to come from the both of us.
Yes. It was an organic thing that was kind of being mixed because this was not what I pictured myself doing at all. I got a lot of stage fright and all that good stuff. So,
Yeah.
but
The
it was
universe knew
weird
what it
because
was
we both
doing.
felt it. We both felt it. We have no idea what purpose this is exactly for, but we just knew that we had to do it. Yeah.
So when you come back on this earth, and Val, please share with me your thoughts. But like we were just saying earlier, I believe that you pick the parents that you're coming back to. Um, you pick the siblings, so you know before you get here who's going to be your parents and what you're coming back here to accomplish. How do you feel about that?
I do think that's very true. I can remember many years ago when I was doing my own therapy, going to a therapist myself, long before I became one. I remember that gave me a lot of peace. It was Carolyn Miss and YSS who first talked about the contracts, the sacred contracts that we make with one another, and that included, choosing our parents, choosing our siblings. I kept thinking, oh, I couldn't have possibly done this. Like, why would I do this to myself? And but I really it opened up the whole world to me after reading that, and I thought that makes so much sense. Of course, I had to have done this. It just resonated somewhere deep. I was like, that makes so much sense. And I can't say I even believed in like reincarnation or anything like that at that time. But it just made sense that I picked them, and it gave me a lot of compassion. I just felt compassion flooding in, and even more love to think that even my so-called enemies, were willing to serve me, were willing to help me. I was less happy when I thought that, wow, my favorite brother then who died young, that meant he had to go. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't bargain for this. But I'll tell you, I most certainly did, because of what happened after losing him. That was when my spirituality really, broke open for me. So I absolutely do believe that. What I think is, or makes it hard maybe for some people that struggle with this, is I think they have to remember that, this is from my understanding, I've certainly heard many people talk about it, but there's a veil of forgetfulness that happens. We take that first breath, might as well say whoa, that's it. And we don't remember. And yet we do remember, because it is written in our soul. But when you're in a place like Earth, where it's more about what can we see, not so much what we can feel. We're uncomfortable with that. Let them go to therapists if they have feelings, right? But it's things that we want to be able to see, or we can't believe in it. Yep. So, but all of that to say that it's our job then to become conscious of ourselves again. I love the phrase "know thyself." One of the great philosophers, right? That's like one of my favorite things. Know thyself, and that's our job here, from the beginning of that first breath to the very last one, is to know ourselves. Not as any like, oh, I'm so special. No, we've got that all wrong. But a deeper, it's a soul thing. And that's our work here.
And both sides of yourself. You have to come to terms with that shadow side in
Amen.
order. They both exist, and they both play a part.
That is so. I mean, that's it right there. It is the work of our life here. We think it's to have fun and to have everything we want and think we need. It couldn't be further from it. It couldn't be further from the truth. It's to know yourself, and that does mean your shadow. That means all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then we've already mentioned how religion kind of messes this up and just makes us pretty much believe that we're horrible to begin with. So how the heck do you undo that, right? How do you undo that?
Yeah.
For heaven's sake, but that we'll get into that another time. But yeah.
Yep. But that absolutely is part of how we got here. It was all planned ahead of time.
Yes.
How do you feel about, so again, like you said, so another, again, with my podcast that I listen to, I, not to be funny, but that's kind of how I expand my awareness on things, is that I listen to podcasts, and then I think about what I think about what they're saying, how I think about what they're saying. And one of the things I was listening to was several people, and I wish I would write names down, but I listen to so many of them. But they talk about exit ramps being built in just in case things don't go the way you think that they should go. How do you feel about that? Because my thing is near-death experiences, and that's one of those exit ramps.
Yes, and Tara knows that I've had a few of those.
I wasn't trying to call you out. I promise you I wasn't.
It's okay. Yes, I do think that that there are exit ramps. I mean, why wouldn't a loving universe say, listen, if it gets too much, here's you can go. I do think that is also, though, designated. I think I don't know if this is going to make sense, but kind of all works together. Again, because you've kind of planned your life out to some extent. You've had things that were going to happen, like my brother leaving so soon and literally devastating me, for 2 years, not being able to get out of bed from the grief. I would have liked to have exited right there, but that was not. Now, he told me, it's not your time. I got to go, but you got to stay. And so I don't know that we necessarily get to choose it. Like, I'd like to, obviously, unless somebody commits, suicide, unfortunately. But I do think so. I certainly don't want to imply that whatsoever. That, oh yeah, but I do know it's a compassionate universe, and so we're all going to be okay, no matter what. No matter what
Yeah.
choices we make, we're going to be okay, and that's the most important thing to remember, I think. But yeah, I think that does exist for sure. Yeah, I think it does.
I have all these things that just go through my mind. I was sitting there thinking, oh, okay, but I can see that being a thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what do you
Yes.
think, in all the things that we are dealing with right now? And I know I'm asking all these questions, and I'm going to get around to you can ask me
That's
anything you want to ask
okay.
me.
It's all right.
But what do you think your place is at this time?
My place, meaning what?
Your mission, your goal, what your place is at this time. This
I honestly really believe that, at one time, I kind of thought it was something big and I had to do big things and all of this. And I think less like that. But I do believe that for me, it's being an ambassador, if you will, or carrying the light, just holding it there for people. Yes, I am a therapist. Yes, I do lots of talking with people, but I'm finding that it's the showing up for people. It's the being present with presence, which we could certainly talk about that sometime, but literally showing up without that judgment as much as possible. I feel like that has been something that has been hard worked on, many years, working on myself. And so in some ways you could almost sum it up as, I think my mission now is to simply be. And that sounds so simple. It is not. It is not. The
every
mind
day is
wants
a
to go
challenge.
crazy. It is. It is. And everything's noisier than ever. And so imagine, right, trying to be like, ooh, what does that look like? Well, it's going to be different for you. It's different for me, right? But
Right.
I think that's it. I have certain things, I'd like to accomplish before I leave, of course. I want to
I've
finish my
already said I'm
book. I
coming
want
back.
to. You said you are coming back? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I, and from what I understand, the simple fact that I spoke those words out of my mouth, my soul has now
Mhm.
committed to coming back another lifetime.
Wow.
I,
Well,
I
I
just,
think that's brave, but I think we're going to have a whole different world here real soon.
I
I think that's
think,
coming. I'd like to be here yet for that. I'd love to at least
right.
see it ushering in, and I think it's starting to. Yeah.
I just don't feel like I'm done. I know I'm not
Okay.
done now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
No. Hear us. We are not done yet.
um, I'm not exactly sure if I don't know who I was or what I did in my last life.
Hmm.
Um, Although I had some inkling that in one of the most recent past lives, I wasn't always a very nice person. Um,
Yep, I hear you.
and
Hmm. Yeah.
um, but
Now you get to be a really
but
cool person in this one.
yeah, but you know what? I heard again another one of my podcasts that I listened to, and I absolutely believe it. Like I believe that right now I am this person. Last lifetime, I was the homeless person on the corner. The
Yeah.
the lifetime before, like we all have our time being the good person. We all have our time being the not so good person. We have our time where we're the wealthy person. We have our time where we were a not so wealthy person. So I think
Yeah.
that we keep the purpose of us being here is to learn and to and have experiences. And we
Yes.
have the experience because the source itself cannot have. the experience. So
Yes.
the source
Yes.
experiences these things through us experiencing these things.
Yes.
Um, the emotions that we have, the way we react to things, but also
Yeah,
ultimately
for
the
sure.
goal when you come back next time is to not make the same mistakes that you made this time. And undoubtedly you
Right.
probably will, but to be
Yes.
more conscious of it more quickly. Because
Yeah.
like you said, on
Yes.
some level, your soul remembers.
I really believe that.
It
Yes.
remembers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. We have to
Um,
slow down and
so
get quiet enough to allow that in. We have the memories. The soul's ancient. The soul has always been. It's a part of God. It's the God part in
mhm.
us. So yeah, it knows.
And I will tell you,
Yeah.
listener, I'm telling
A
you,
listener, yes.
watcher, that the people you surround yourself will ultimately affect the decisions that you make for yourself. Just saying.
Amen.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
we all could be in a different place, but we have to evaluate ourselves. Um, I
Yeah.
think that we can't allow other people's weights to hold us back.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you have to figure
Yes.
out what you're here for, and you have to live your truth.
Yes.
We might have
Yes.
to
It's
fight some
everyone's
people along
job.
the way.
Right? It's really
Hmm.
our job. It's not somebody else's job to do your work, you know? I sometimes don't like that, do your work or whatever, but it's true. It is true. And
You
sometimes I've had
better
people
work.
say, What work? I'm like, oh no. This is gonna take a little while, but it's the work is very simple. Know thyself. Find out what that means. Find out
And
what that
some of us
means.
are going to, we talked about this too. Some of us
Hmm.
are going to be here and move
Yes.
forward, and some people are
Yes.
meant to be here and
Yes.
stay here.
Yes.
Um,
And those people, like we were
but
started out talking about, if they're not lower or least of these, they're doing something. I mean, imagine having DT's job, as a soul. I mean, imagine that. I mean, that could be quite an accomplished soul who was willing to
yep.
do this
And
because knowing they were going to
and
be
when I
hated.
say yep, and when I say between here and here, you're right.
Hmm.
I don't mean as far as one
Right.
being better than the other.
Yes.
We were set here to accomplish different things. But at
Yes.
the same time, if these people don't open their mind and they don't awake, they will stay here.
Yes.
Versus
Exactly.
these are
Yes.
the people that are doing the work,
Yeah.
that have an
Yeah.
open mind, that realize that it's going to take a different level of consciousness
Hmm.
to move the earth forward. Um, I can honestly say personally, there's somebody that I know that everything is okay with them. Everything is fine. They see nothing wrong with anything. Nothing. And that's the person that's here
Hmm.
versus me wanting to hold my space and help to elevate and be here for people that are like-minded, but also being here for people that are not like-minded and trying to hold space for
Yes.
them to be able to come ask questions
Yes.
and
Yes.
grow if that's what they choose to do. But not everybody came back at this time to be consciousness raisers, for the lack of a better term.
True. True. Yeah, absolutely. Some people came here just to have fun, just to try it out. I
I'm
hope
too
they're
old
having
of a
fun,
soul.
Tara. Oh,
I'm too I'm too old
yeah.
of a soul to be doing
Oh,
that,
me
man.
too. It's like, come on, fun. I
Yeah,
just
like, I want to
just want
have
to go
fun after
home.
all this work is done.
Yes, exactly.
And when I say fun, I
Exactly.
don't mean as in like going out and partying. I mean as in I want to be able to commune with one another
Yeah.
and that love just be there and that happiness be
Yes.
there and
Yeah.
I don't care if the world's boring. We'll figure out a way to make it exciting,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
I think it's about to get even more exciting, at least, for people like you and me anyway. I mean, it's kind of like, whoa, it almost feels like I thought about this the other day. I'm like, wow, it just feels like I'm waking up from like just a crazy dream. Do you ever feel that way? Just kind of like, oh, wow, I am like waking up and I feel like I don't even much care or remember my early parts of my life. It's starting to feel like none of it matters. So that gets deep, and maybe we don't have to go there tonight, but it can get very trippy, you know.
Yeah,
And for the
yeah,
record, I don't use any substances. I do not. None, people.
you don't have to. You don't
That's
have to.
I used to tell people are like, you should try, and I'm like, you don't understand. I
I
don't
would
need
love
to
to go
do
on an
it.
ayahuasca retreat.
Yeah.
I would love to go. I mean,
Yep. I
I don't
know a lot of
relish the
people
puking
have.
part of it, but I would.
Me neither. It's the worst thing ever. I'll do anything
But
not
like,
to puke.
but I mean, I think that sometimes it opens up a new world that
Yeah. Yeah.
meditation, just work, work, work. You have to work to get there. Where ayahuasca is like,
Yeah.
damn, but not everything's meant to be quick and dirty, right? Some things just
It's
take
I,
time.
yeah, I have a lot of concerns though about like forcing the opening and because I'll tell you I know what the near death experiences have done to me. I mean, it made me whacked out for quite some time. I didn't even know how to function. I had to relearn some things. I mean, it's a little crazy. Um, and that was, completely natural that happened that way. So I don't know. I have seen people who've had things open up way too quickly, and that is a little scary. And that could be
All
just my
right.
therapist talking, you know.
No, that actually really, I could see where it would be because your body has not come to not your body, but your mind has not come to
Yes,
terms with that, like
you're
that gradual,
correct. It's too
unless
quick, it's too quick. It just flies
unless
so
you
quick.
prepared yourself to a point
Yes.
and then you used it to
Well,
kind of get
and
you over that
we
hump.
don't exactly, and we don't live in a society anymore that allows like I remember after my near death experience, I could barely function. And I remember thinking like I was so blissed out and I kept having, these residual almost like the what we were just talking about, the earthquakes, and then you have the aftershocks. I was having aftershocks for quite some time, right? And I had to work. And I remember thinking, oh, where are the days when, like Teresa of Avila, she could go into her cave and she could just be and they would minister to her.
Yeah.
I literally felt like I needed that. So and that's why with these ayahuasca things, there's a lot of attendance, but then you still got to go home. You still
Hmm.
got to go home, and you've been altered in some way. But I wish our society was a little more able to
Open.
handle this. But nope, it's time to go back to work. I came back
Yeah.
from my month-long vacation that I was on when this happened to me, and had to go right back to work, and I could not function. It was really difficult.
And I'm going to tell you that I almost had a near death experience. I'm saying this to make you laugh. Like, so one day I'm going to tell
Okay.
this story because we've been keeping each other spirits high today because both of us are tired, but we know we
Yes.
had to make this
It's a long
recording.
day. Yes.
So one day with my last job, I worked from home because I had to take my car in to be serviced. So
Uh-huh.
so my mom follows me, drops my car off to be serviced. I stop and get some lunch and I got some cheese sticks, mozzarella sticks from a local restaurant. And I'm telling this story because the universe was absolutely on my side because I was good
Whew.
as dead. I promise you.
Oh,
This is
what
when my
happened?
office was downstairs, and I'm sitting in the office, and I am getting ready to do, I have a position open, and I'm about to interview for this position. So I'm hurrying up. I get home. My mom drops me back off at home. She goes to the grocery store. So I'm by myself at home. I have my lunch, and I'm getting ready to do an interview for this position that I have to fill. So I'm shoveling this cheese stick down my throat, and I'm chewing and chewing, and it gets stuck
Oh, ugh,
in my throat.
oh, not
And
good.
I'm by myself and I can't breathe. And the mozzarella stick is stuck in my throat. I can't get it to go
Oh,
down. I can't get it to come up. And I'm literally sitting there thinking I am about to die off of a cheese stick. My mom just left me and went to the grocery store. If she comes back home, I can't die. I can't die. My mom
right.
cannot find me dead when she comes home from the
Oh
grocery
my
store
God,
off of
right?
a mozzarella cheese stick.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. That's the only thing I kept thinking about. I kept thinking about my grandson because, like, how is anybody going
Yes.
to explain to him? Because he didn't live with me, but he was staying with me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Would
like
have
it
been
was just me,
horrific.
like me and him. Who's going to
Yeah.
explain to him that his grandma choked off of a cheese stick? Like, who's and died? So,
Oh,
like, I
it's
literally was
terrible.
pleading with the universe, please do not let me die right here, right now. If, like, or have my mom pull back up. She forgot
Yeah.
something. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the cheese stick just goes down, and I'm like gasping for air. I literally
Yeah.
thought I was going to die now. I thought I was
Oh
going
my
to die.
goodness. Yeah. Yes, it's a terrifying thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
I didn't have an actual NDE. I saw my life
Yeah.
flashing before
But
my
you're
eyes.
panicked and that's not a
Oh
fun
my,
thing.
oh
Yeah,
my
it's not a fun
God.
thing. It's
Yeah.
scary. It's scary.
Hmm.
Yeah, got you. Loud and clear. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I felt that, Tara.
Oh,
And I don't
I
think
don't
it
know. I
made
had
me
to.
laugh very much, but thank you.
Well, you're laughing now, so
I'm feeling it though.
I'm
Woo.
still here. I'm still here.
You are
I
still
laugh.
here. Me
I
too.
laughed about it afterwards because, like, how crazy is that?
Well, it is. Yeah, it is crazy.
It wasn't my exit ramp. Was
It
not my
was
exit ramp.
not. And I hope you saw it in your rear view mirror as you blew right by it. Not today. Which
That.
there is a wonderful song. I don't know. I think it's by Sia, or however you say her name, SIA.
Mhm.
It's called "O Reaper." Ugh, it's all about that,
Mm.
and it's basically no baby, no baby, no not today. It's talking to the Grim Reaper, and it's saying I've got things to do, and it's a powerful song. And of course, I found that one not too long after what happened to me, and I usually play that only on the anniversary day, and it's basically
Oh,
saying no, not today. Yeah. It's been a
yeah.
precious song to me, actually. Probably people know it, but you should check it.
I
It'll give
will.
you the shivers. Yeah, yeah, it's really
Have you
good.
ever seen
So
the TV show The Sandman?
no, mm-mm,
Okay.
no.
So I think it's like on Netflix or something like that. But if
Okay.
you get a chance to watch it, the Sandman is like he's like controls dreams, but he has a sibling and his sibling is
Oh,
deaf.
yes. Okay. Heard about
And
this.
yeah, and like she helps people. Like if I say if this is how death comes in, if I know it's not like I have experienced the human side of death, and I
Yeah.
do believe that loved ones do come. I when my dad passed, before he passed away, I watched him talking to people that weren't in the room,
Oh yeah.
and
Hmm.
looking at
Oh
people
yeah.
that weren't in the room. And when I said to my dad a couple times, the first time I was sitting on the couch, and my dad was laying on the couch, and my dad said something, I can't remember what he said, and I looked at him and I was like, "Who are you talking to?" He said, "I'm talking to him," and I did like this, and I said, "Who's him?
Who's
There's nobody here
him?
but me.
Exactly.
There's
Oh, it's
there's
something.
nobody here.
It's
Yeah, there's
intense.
nobody here but me." And
Yep.
he just looked at me and then just shook his head. That's when
Remember
I
the
knew for
veil,
a
right?
fact.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's the veil.
And
Mm-hmm.
and then he would look at a picture of his grandmother, And then he
Oh,
looked up in the corner of the room, and it looked
yes.
back at her and looked back in the corner of the room. And I said to him, I said, Dad,
Oh,
do you see her? And he shook his head, no. But I, my dad was a devout Jehovah Witness. Even if he
ooh,
did see
yes.
her, he would never admit to me
Yeah.
that
He'd
he
have to
did,
deny it.
because that
Yeah.
goes against everything
I
that he believed in. But
I
I know
understand. Yeah.
what he saw. I know what he was seeing. I know who
Mhm.
he was talking to. There was nobody in
You
that
know
room
your
but me.
dad. Yes. Yes, it's a wonderful thing to experience at a deathbed. Yes. And we'll have to talk more
Yeah,
about that. Yeah.
absolutely. We're all over the place today. We said we were talking about life
We are.
design, but we
Forgive
talked about a
us,
little bit of
please.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah, this is how our conversations normally go anyway.
Uh,
So,
absolutely. Okay. Well, hey,
yeah,
thank you for listening.
absolutely,
Appreciate
absolutely.
it.
So we will be back in about a week with
Yeah.
another conversation. We try to plan,
Chime
but
in. Yep. We do,
yeah,
but it's
we try to
organic, and
plan.
that's what life is, right? It's all about that. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens, you know?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us in another episode of Breaking Consciousness. Please like, subscribe, and share. This is new to both of us, and we are
We're
experiencing
learning.
and experimenting with things. So
Yes.
you are along for the ride with us. Comment, help us grow
Yes.
personally as well as a podcast and as a community.
Thank you.